So welcome to the Bite-Size Trust Working Group. And we're here following our agenda, which is to work on Bite-Size Trust videos. And we are all members of Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust, and we are all aware of the antitrust policies.
So is this a working group or is this a task
Sorry,
force?
you're right, it's a task force.
Okay.
Updated
Yeah,
our
I don't,
scope.
yeah, I don't want to over assert. Okay,
Um,
so tell me what
okay,
you're thinking here.
okay, I'm gonna pull up the slides that I have one of them is for protecting private keys. So that's
Right.
not related to, but I started them in order. Okay, I'm gonna pull up. Okay, so here we go. Protecting private keys. Which one is that one? Oh yeah, okay. When you create a decentralized identifier or DID, your private key is the foundation of your digital identity. It's what proves you're really you. Protecting that key is critical, and there are three main ways to store it. First, clear storage, keeping your key directly on your device. It's easy to access and simple to use, but it's also risky. If someone gains access to your device, they can copy your key and impersonate you. Second is encrypted storage, where your key is locked with encryption, protected by a password, PIN, or biometric factor. Even if the file is stolen, it's useless without the decryption key. And then there's the most secure option, hardware secure modules or HSMs. These are dedicated hardware components designed to protect cryptographic keys. The key is generated and stored inside the module and can never be exported or copied, not even by the device's operating system. The HSM performs all cryptographic operations internally, like signing or decrypting, without ever revealing the key itself. HSM also comes with tamper-resistant features. If someone tries to physically open or probe the chip, it can automatically erase its contents to prevent theft. Many modern smartphones now include built-in HSMs or secure enclaves, which provide this level of protection for your digital wallet keys. Even cloud providers use similar technology called trusted execution environments or cloud HSMs to isolate your keys and secure hardware so that even the service operator can't access them. Whether it's stored on your phone or in the cloud, the goal is the same. Keep your private keys secure, unmovable, and under your control, because whoever controls your keys controls your identity. So, those are the slides and the script for protecting private keys. And then I've got another one for what is governance. Okay. Governance is the set of operations intended to mitigate risks by holding a set of actors accountable over a set of rules or laws. Governance shows up everywhere in governments, standards organizations, game administration, and even in families. Wherever there's a need to manage behavior, reduce risk, or enforce fairness, governance provides the structure to make that possible. A governance system typically includes the following elements: risks or a set of oh yeah, I was going to change that to lightning bolt. Risks, risks or a set of unacceptable outcomes that governance helps to mitigate. A governing body, the group that identifies risks and creates rules or laws to manage them. A conformance scheme, the process for enforcing those rules and holding people accountable. Actors, oh, shoot, sorry, I should have been going through this. Risks or a set of unacceptable outcomes that governance helps to mitigate. A governing body, the group that identifies risks and creates rules or laws to manage them. A conformance scheme, the process for enforcing those rules and holding people accountable. Actors, the individuals or organizations expected to follow the rules. Rules or laws, the specific standards or requirements designed to reduce risk. And arbiters. Arbiters? Is that the correct pronunciation, Scott? Arbiters?
Yep.
Okay.
Arbiter.
Arbiters, the ones responsible for ensuring that the rules are actually followed. We can see governance in action everywhere we look. And then I didn't have, there's a lot of text, but I didn't put slides with that. I thought it would be too busy. In government, legislators create laws to reduce crime among citizens, while law enforcement and the courts make sure those laws are followed. In standards organizations, governing bodies publish must and shall statements to reduce technical and business risks. Auditors and certification bodies step in to verify that companies are compliant. In sports, rule commissions define how the game is played and what penalties apply, while referees and umpires enforce those rules during the game. Schools have their own systems too. School boards define codes of conduct and academic standards, while principals and teachers apply them day to day to maintain fairness and discipline. And even at home, parents create family rules to keep children safe and teach responsibility using chore charts, rewards, or consequences to hold them accountable. Governance in all these forms is the process humans use to manage chaos, to create order, trust, and accountability. It's what allows systems, large and small, to function fairly and predictably. In future bite-sized trust videos, we'll take a closer look at each of these governance elements, the actors, the rules, and the mechanisms that turn governance into a working system.
Beautiful.
So then we were talking about rules, the risks. I had that down as a oh no.
I always use thunderbolts as risks, you know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like that? Or is that
Sure. Well, I just use the thunderbolt, not necessarily the cloud, but if
yeah.
that's what we got, people understand
Oh,
it.
oh, here it is. Here it is. Look at that.
Here we
Okay.
go. Yellow. Yellow would be good.
It has to be yellow. Um, so I'm going to pull that down into here. And then uh, then also I was thinking on maybe I should change the order. I'll show you what I mean. Let me just finish this
Change the
slide.
order of, okay, the time
Um,
of what?
yeah, so send back. So when I was going through, I thought that so risks and then establish the rules for risk. And then I think it should be the rules are written.
Well, I would go back to the trust over IP governance document, side of the house to see what we have already demonstrated as these things. Let's
Mhm.
not get novel. Let's be consistent.
Okay. Okay, because I thought I got a bit confused because when it was like conformance schema to enforce the rules, but then I didn't talk about the rules before the conformance schema.
Right. So, I guess what you can do on the conformance schema different than the rules is put magnifying glasses as opposed to the check boxes.
Okay, but the arbiters, I have it with this icon.
Yeah, but you can just use, you know,
Okay,
small small one of those.
like that.
Yeah, that's it. Use that instead of the rules because we're checking the rules. It shows.
Or what about,
Sure, sounds good.
okay, and then I'll edit the thing to reflect that. Yeah, actors and the
So
governance.
conformance schemes.
Okay,
School, that's not a sentence. What are we?
Conformance schemes to enforce rules and hold people accountable.
Okay. Okay.
And then actors in the governed system who should follow the rules. And then arbiters ensure the rules are followed.
Okay.
And then back to here again. So I'll update the other slides to fit that. Okay. So that one then I'll do some editing and that one's ready to go. And then I don't think, did I start on the next one? No.
Yeah, I mean, all the scripts seem to be, I like them. They're good. Seems to simply explain, oh, that's what governance is.
Yeah, and the parts and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then from here, so I don't have another slide deck yet. Governance is how people and organizations work together to manage risk and make sure everyone follows a shared set of rules. It's about accountability, ensuring that those involved in a system act in ways that keep it trustworthy and fair for everyone who depends on it. Every governed system, oh, this is not a repeat, but an extension of the people. Like I had it earlier. I'm going to change rules or laws logically needed to be before a conformance scheme because,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then every governed ecosystem needs a governing body, a recognized authority responsible for creating rules and making sure they're applied fairly. Sometimes this governing body appoints an administering authority or a team of administrators to handle daily operations on its behalf. Okay, that I can governing body and maybe a different colored authority and some people. I can do that. The people or organization that agree to follow these rules are called the governed parties. They might be citizens in a country, companies in an industry, students in a school, or players in a sport. Anyone who agrees to be accountable under a particular set of rules. Okay, I can see a slide there. To make sure the rules are followed, governance systems also rely on arbiters trusted individuals or groups who check for compliance. In governments, that could mean police, lawyers, judges, and juries. In standards organizations, it could be auditors, regulators, or certification bodies. In sports, arbiters are referees, umpires, or judges. In schools, they're teachers and principals who ensure students meet educational standards. Finally, and then another slide, finally, there are relying parties, people or organizations that depend on others to follow the rules. For example, consumers rely on manufacturers. I really like the examples. Consumers rely on manufacturers to meet safety standards. Investors rely on governments to enforce the rule of law. Fans rely on referees to keep sports fair, and citizens rely on each other to follow traffic laws for public safety. In short, a governed ecosystem works because all these human actors, the governing bodies, administrators, governed parties, arbiters, and relying parties, play their part. Together, they build systems that manage risk, promote fairness, and maintain the trust that allows societies and organizations to function. And then for that last side, I can probably summarize the different groups, maybe
Mhm.
pull them all up again. Okay, how you feeling about it, Scott?
Loving it. Good. Especially with the voice of trust over IP.
Instead of what is it, the voice of Radio Free Europe or Radio Free?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, it came out, especially when it was like cycling through during the breaks. And the only thing, the counsel I would give
Yeah,
after, because of, and it comes out more clearly when, you're listening to one bite after another.
yeah.
You need to take a breath and you need to slow down a little bit because
Okay.
it's like a freight train coming down. It's a bite, but You better open your mouth quick because that bite is coming in quick. It's like a meteor.
Okay. Okay. Yep. I can. I'm the person who listens to videos on fast forward, so I guess I listen to them at the speed I
Some
want
people
to
can
talk
do
at.
that. It's just you need to give them, some people like it,
Yeah.
slower and digestible.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting because I wasn't at the symposium. I missed it all. I'm waiting for the recordings to come up so I can watch 15, 16 hours of content. But that I'm in a way I'm glad I missed it because it would have been really awkward to listen to me constantly with the bite-sized trust videos. So, okay. How governance ecosystems assess risk. The goal of a governance ecosystem is to reduce the risks that a community can actually control. But what are those risks and how do we figure out which ones need attention? Risk is about the chance that something unwanted or harmful might happen. Some risks are completely out of our control, like a solar storm knocking out communications, but some risks are, yeah,
But
completely out of your
others can be
control.
reduced.
Yeah, some risks, uh, uh,
Yeah, that made sense to me.
that they're completely out of our control. Well, I guess I've heard the communications people being like, we should be shielding more, but it doesn't cost, it's not worth the cost for such a, uh, yeah, but
But it's yes, but maybe, as a relying party on communication, we can't control what the
yeah,
communication companies do.
right. Okay. Yeah.
That's really
Okay.
the issues.
We get to suffer other people's bad choices.
Right.
Okay. Some risks are completely out of our control, like a solar storm knocking out communications, but others can be reduced when people work together under agreed upon rules. The specific risks depend on the type of ecosystem and what it's trying to achieve. In government, risks often involve public safety, fraud, or theft. In business standards, risks might come from weak security, damaged reputation, or failing to meet legal or industry requirements. In sports or games, risks include physical injury or unfair play. Even families have their own ecosystem risks, messy rooms, missed deadlines, or poor grades. No matter, and I'm wondering about the video, like the slides for this. I mean, I don't have so many slide. I'm trying to
I don't
draw
have
from the
any
same.
icons to use. I get it.
Yeah. Um, I guess I do have.
So here's some other feedback.
Yeah.
Um, the slides are less important.
Yeah.
It's really what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I wasn't, when I was listening to what you were going through. I don't know if the slides was making the difference. It was you explaining it in a, conversational way that was very powerful.
Made it accessible. Okay. Yeah. And there are maybe there are some logos in the Trust over IP
Yeah,
library
I
that
mean,
I can.
I'd say then, you have permission to go beyond it. This is old. This is five
Oh,
years.
yeah, I know, but the I the what I have legal rights to is then I have to
Yeah, but
like
you can, there's free stuff on,
yeah.
if you have license for PowerPoint and things like that. So,
Yeah, so I've been sticking with the PowerPoint ones because when I was doing stuff for work, then you're like you go through all the other libraries, but then they're all still like CC by and stuff. So then I have to stick an attribution page at the end or something in order to use the logos. So yeah, okay, we'll see. I will poke around because there is still a lot of nice little logos that I haven't figured out.
okay.
Okay. Okay, so no matter the context, all risk assessment methods look at two factors. One is how like, and then you know what I'm going to actually do is I think I'll do that as just a mini XY, well, columns rows because that's uh, uh, One is how likely the event will happen, and two is how severe it would be if it did happen. These are usually judged using simple scales. For example, unlikely to very likely for likelihood, and negligible for to critical for severity. And I can fill that in as well without going into the table. And I like that because then you can immediately go into actually using that. At
Or
this stage,
you can take the there is if you go into
yeah.
the spreadsheet, there is the chart. You can just take the chart.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. At this stage, the focus is I'll have a look at the chart. At this stage, the focus is only on understanding the risk itself, not yet on the actions needed to control it. Next, these two factors are combined using a scoring system, often shown in a grid to produce an overall risk score. That picture I could take out of
Right.
your
Yeah. Take
out
out
of
of
the
the
yeah. Because no governance ecosystem can solve every problem, the process includes a kind of triage. Anything below a
Tri
certain huh?
triage.
Triage?
Triage.
Triage. Okay. Triage.
Triage,
Triage.
like you go to
Yeah, the hospital. No, I was just
uh,
I'm trying to think if I was,
I don't know, maybe it was a Canadian.
yeah, because we do portage and everyone's portage.
They got it.
Triage, triage. Uh,
It sounds so foreign when you say it.
The process includes a kind of triage. Anything below a certain threshold, often below medium risk, is not addressed. This helps focus time and resources on what really matters. Only after identifying only after identifying which risks are worth tackling do governance ecosystems decide whether adding rules, standards, or laws could realistically reduce those risks to an acceptable level. Once that's clear, they can design the governance requirements needed to keep the ecosystem safe and working smoothly.
Beautiful. I think it's very nice, very
Yeah.
well. I mean, and I listened to it and I said, okay, people will get that more than whatever I've been saying for years. Uh,
Well, but this is just a bite.
yeah, well, at
But
least I do think that, I
bites
don't
taste
see
the
this in
meals.
the marketplace. I don't. And as a governance company, I certainly am going to take advantage of this and showcase this on my websites.
Yeah, 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 that makes sense. Yeah. I'm using the content to sell what is it did. So I can't wait for I asked Benjamin to work on the Trust over IP webpage to add the library of bite-sized trust videos there.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then it can
Absolutely.
be a reference. Yeah. How do governance ecosystems develop requirements? We all live inside many different governance ecosystems, even if we don't think of them that way. We follow laws, watch sports where players obey the rules, and buy products that meet safety standards. These systems give us fairness and trust, but how do these rules get created? Governance requirements usually come from four ideas: risk, mandate, suitability, and leverage. Risk is where everything starts. Okay, so then I can list the four and then risk, and then that's I can do that with the lightning bolt. Governance ecosystem. I like to reuse the same visual
Yeah.
cues. Yeah.
Yeah. So risk, you could use that lightning bolt. Mandate can be, you know, you could pull in, that would be interested for mandate. You could bring in Uncle Sam, that Uncle Sam poster,
Oh yeah.
on you, something like that.
Oh yeah. What about the Rosie the Riveter? We can do it.
Well, that's not a mandate. That's
That. Do we have
um,
anything here? I'm hesitant about using American centric.
yes, that's true. That's true.
Let me quick.
Here you go. Here, you could use this. Hold on, I'll share it. Uh, you can't share while you're sharing.
Oh,
All right, so we can, this is an icon you certainly can use.
well.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to. Oh. Okay, there's some finger pointing things, icons that I can use.
Okay.
So um, I can maybe within here I can work with that. So let me read through mandate and then I understand it a bit more and then I can brainstorm again. So here we go. Mandate comes next. Optional rules rarely work. Telling a child you may take out the garbage won't get the job done. Governance is the same. Rules need clear, mandatory language like must and shall so that everyone knows exactly what is required. Okay. Yeah, something around the finger point and
Yeah, I do. I very simply, that statement says everything. You
yeah.
know, it's telling a child you may take out,
Take out the garbage.
don't get the job done. I love that.
Stability ensures the rules
Oh
actually
no,
suitability.
suitability. Yeah,
Suitability ensures the rules actually work in practice. A rule can sound great, but if following it doesn't reduce the intended risk, it's not useful. Rule makers must consider whether people can realistically follow the rule, whether it's affordable, enforceable, and aligned with their abilities and motivations.
yes, that's a subtlety, by the way. 'Cause I've learned that over that's my big pet peeve about governance. Sometimes governance authorities just say, oh, we'll just throw this out there and they'll figure out how to do it. No, they don't. They don't.
Hmm. Or it becomes so onerous. I knew for lab management, because it was always continual improvement. And we would have lab inspections that would come through and look at the safety in the lab. Absolutely. Good thing. But the problem is that after you fixed all the stuff, then they have to still come in and find something. And then they would be getting into things that had low suitability that were
Yeah,
very
no,
costly and
that's
that it risked the they didn't have a thing where sometimes it's good enough because it was going for continuous. So I knew one of the ways to deal with the situation is to like blatantly leave something out that was very clearly violating safety reg. And then they'd point to that thing, and then you'd be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we'll get to fixing that." And then they check their box, and you check yours, and then you went back to a safe lab. Okay, leverage helps avoid reinventing the wheel. Many rules already exist and are widely followed. Before creating a new rule, it's important to ask whether an existing one already solves the problem, whether it applies to the ecosystem, and whether its conformance is reliable. Using what already works can be more efficient than starting from scratch. Effective rulemaking blends all of these elements. When risk, mandate, suitability, and leverage are carefully considered, governance ecosystems can create rules that are practical, clear, and genuinely improve trust and safety. Nice. Okay, now I know what they all mean. For the more theoretical ideas, the pictures are going to be trickier, but it's the story. How conformance schemes work. People say rules are made to be broken, but without a conformance scheme, you wouldn't even know when that happens. Governance, yeah, governance isn't just about making rules. It's about making sure people actually follow them and keep following them over time. That's what a conformance scheme is for. A conformance scheme starts with clear public set of rules that organizations or participants choose to follow. To show they're following these rules, there needs to be a list of what they must provide or do called conformance criteria. This might include documents, photos, settings, measurements, or anything else that shows they're meeting the requirements, like when they take the photo of your package at the door,
Package at what door?
at your house door, when they drop off stuff.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's evidence, right? It's persuasive. It has to
Persuade.
be it has to be relevant and persuasive,
That's how I
right?
found my package was at my neighbor's door because the picture was of his house. And I was like, wait a minute.
Ah,
That's not my house.
that's funny. And that happened to me just recently. It's funny. Guy comes up to me and goes, "Is this all of your stuff? Because we have a new home and we're ordering all kinds of stuff." And it was like, man, it was like 10 boxes they dumped on his door.
Oh, poor guy. Okay. The criteria can't be too difficult or expensive to gather, or people won't comply.
Wait. This okay. All right. This okay. Right. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Another important part of a conformance scheme is deciding how much confidence you want in the evidence. This can be as simple as someone agreeing to follow the rules or as thorough as having an independent expert review all the evidence. More evidence and more review gives you stronger confidence, but they also take more time and money. Some systems use levels of assurance. Lose levels of assurance for their conformance scheme.
Yes.
So levels of assurance. Higher levels require more evidence, more checks, and give more confidence that people are actually following the rules. Usually, trained arbiters review the evidence. They need to understand the rules, know how to evaluate the evidence, and often have certifications or specialized training. Just like baseball umpires go to umpire school or auditors get certified, arbiters also need the right preparation so the system stays trustworthy. I knew somebody and his job was to spot fakes. Like so his wife was annoyed because everywhere time they'd go out in public, he'd be like, "That's a fake bag. That's a knockoff. That's a fake
Yes. Yes.
bag."
I hear that. I hear that.
Conformance assessments usually follow a predictable process. The governed party and the arbiter agree. Conformance assessments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So conformance assessments happen when conformance assessments is what you do with your conformance scheme.
Uh, Conformance assessments are a process of executing a conformance scheme.
Conformance assessments
Assessments are
are the
used,
process
right, are
are
the
used to
to evaluate governed parties
oh, that gets a bit more technical. Wait, go.
are used to all right, that's fine. The conformances are used to evaluate whether someone is playing by the rules.
Okay, but I wanted to use the word because we're all about conformance schemes. So conformance assessments use
Execute the conformance scheme. You'd say they do.
okay, use
Execute the conform. Yeah, just say instead of conformance assessment, assessments.
okay,
Arbiters assess. You can say arbiters assess.
okay, arbiters assess
Assess
by following the conformance scheme.
by by well,
Or by using arbiters assess by using the conformance scheme. That's
right, right,
simple. Arbiters assess by using, usually trained arbiters review the evidence. They need to understand the rules, know how to evaluate and everything. So the arbiters,
right, and the
trained
rest is
arbiters
fine.
review the evidence. Arbiters assess using the conformance scheme. the governed party and the arbiter agree on how the assessment will work and when it will happen. During the assessment, the governed party provides the evidence required by the rules. The arbiter reviews it by listening, observing, checking documents, and using whatever methods make sense for the situation. Afterward, the arbiter issues a report that lists any problems and what needs to be fixed. In sports, this happens on the field, and feedback is immediate. If
Okay,
someone is,
hold on, there's just one change that I'll throw out, see if you agree.
yeah,
So it says here in the middle, during the assessment, the governed parties provide the evidence required by the rules. But it also can be required by the conformance scheme.
by the rules, or could I put conformance scheme instead of rules?
Yes, yeah. See, because the
Okay,
conformance
so
scheme
I
is the
could,
operational activity for the rules. It steps in, you know.
okay, so you know what? So I'm gonna actually get that because that's where that the governed party and the arbiter agree on how the assessment on how an assessment will work and when it will happen. During the assessment, the governed party provides evidence required by the conformance scheme. The arbiter reviews it by listening, observing, checking documents, and using whatever methods make sense for the situation. Afterward, the arbiter issues a report and lists any problems. So the governed party and the arbiter agree on how an assessment will work and when it will happen. During the assessment, the governed party provides the evidence required by the conformance scheme. The arbiter reviews it. Okay. If someone is found to have serious nonconformities, it can trigger further actions, including removing them from the ecosystem. That may sound harsh, but it helps keep the whole system trustworthy and fair.
Beautiful.
Okay. And that's the end of the scripts. And then trust registries do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Yeah. So these are in my scripts for fact checking and review, scripts being written, scripts for fact checking. So now I'm going to move all of those guys up.
Well, did you want to go over that last one? You didn't
Yeah,
do
let's
it.
go over that. Yeah. What trust registries do? Trust registry. Oh, yeah, sorry, that was yours. What trust registries aren't a new idea. For centuries, we've relied on business registries to know who is allowed to operate. And by the mid 1900s, the Yellow Pages became a trusted way to find reliable services. People have always depended on third parties like Consumer Reports, Good Housekeeping, or professional certification boards, like influencers now, to help decide who or what to trust. Any
Well,
organization.
I would challenge influencers. They're not qualified. They don't have to go through a qualification. All they have to qualify is that they're popular. And so
Yeah,
that's a problem. That's a problem, actually.
that's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
Hitler was an influencer, okay? He was.
Yeah, no
Right?
qualification.
He was. He was one of the biggest influencers of last.
Yeah. Okay, okay. They have all the trust of a trust registry without the qualifications or governance. Well, they are supposed to say that this is when they're a paid product.
Yeah, people don't listen to that.
Uh, to help decide who or what to trust. Any organization that wants to show it meets a recognized standard does so to reach more customers, work more efficiently, and attract investment. In the digital world, trust registries serve a similar purpose. From a governance perspective, a trust registry is a machine-readable directory backed by an authority which lists organizations, systems, or agents that lists which organizations, systems, or agents are trusted participants in a digital ecosystem. We already use versions of these today. Accreditation databases, the trust stores in our computer that allow secure website access, and business registries that list legally recognized companies. Within a governance ecosystem, a trust registry provides a public authoritative list of actors who meet the requirements of I wish this were simpler because
Okay.
I'm starting to lose track of what I mean, it's all right. It's all correct. Oh, but it's starting to get a little bit, I should have done. Let me try. let me put it right through
Well,
ChatGPT again.
in visual context, the trust registry is going to be, don't we have a trust registry icon somewhere? And, we need to, um, you know, show that that each governed party goes through some kind of process to get on the list.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to make those ideas, and I was just finding that when I'm speaking it, the sentences are longer and more complex than other ones.
Okay. All
That's
right, so
why
let's fix it.
let's
Okay.
see if let's see if this one works better. Here, I just used ChatGPT to rework it.
Well, I thought you did before. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Trust registries aren't new. Long before the internet, people needed ways to figure out what they could rely on. Business registries told us which companies were officially allowed to operate. The Yellow Pages helped people find trusted services, and groups like Consumer Reports, Good Housekeeping, and professional certification boards became well-known sources of truth people could turn to when deciding who to trust. This is all the same so far. Organizations sought out these approvals because it helped them reach customers, work more smoothly, and build credibility. Let me compare that to,
That's fine.
yeah, that. In the digital world, trust registries play a similar role. They're just machine readable and designed for automated systems as well as people. I like that. A trust registry is essentially a directory backed by recognized authority, listing the organizations, systems, or agents that are trusted participants in a digital ecosystem. We already rely on things like this, accreditation listings, business registries, and even the trust stores inside our computers that decide which websites are safe to connect to.
Yep.
Within a governance ecosystem, a trust registry provides an authoritative list of actors who have met the requirements of a conformance program. These registries help answer two big questions. First, is this specific entity authorized to do a particular thing under a given governance framework? And second, do different ecosystems recognize each other's rules and rules? For example, whether ecosystem A accepts ecosystem B as an authority and vice versa.
You know what? That's very important to say because the trust registry query protocol
Yeah.
does not do a good job of explaining it as you just did right there. And I
Okay.
pulled it straight from there. So and it's going to be that's going to be as easy as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I like, yeah, this is. Does ecosystem, yeah. As soon as I read it, then it made, oh my God, 15 more minutes to my next meeting. As digital governance becomes more decentralized, it's even more important than this information. As digital governance becomes more decentralized, it's even more important that this information be easy to find and reliable, not just for humans, but for software agents that automatically check who should be trusted. Trust registries act as an asserted system of record. They don't force anyone to trust the information, but they give organizations and systems the data they need to make their own decisions. To support this, Trust over IP created the Trust over IP created the Trust Registry Query Protocol, a standard way for systems to act for system for ecosystems.
Yeah, ecosystems.
Yeah, I'm going to put that into
Um, no, not necessarily.
systems. Okay.
It's anybody. It's ecosystems and anybody like you. I want
Yeah.
to know, you know, anybody,
A standard way for anyone or
anything.
anything to ask questions. A
One
standard
word.
way.
Anything is one word.
Yeah, right. A standard way for anyone or anything to ask questions and get answers from these registries. Good governance also requires clear rules about how entries are added, suspended, or removed. As more digital ecosystems adopt trust registries, they'll continue to evolve, but their purpose will stay the same, helping us establish and maintain trust in an increasingly digital world.
Yes, there you go. Beautiful.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, those are all moving into script generation. I have a bit of governance here in my there is some governance in this um document. Okay, good. I think we're done here. And I will
Yes.
um I can start. I've been slowly releasing the other videos and I will work on the slides for these and then get a so I'm working on the slides on my computer because I have all the PowerPoint icons and stuff. And then I put it up. And we'll have a look at it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. In 2 weeks, right? That's the next meeting for us. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you'll have a quiet week while the United States is eating turkey. You've had your turkey
We
day.
had our turkey, our early turkey. Yeah. Is
Um,
it this week? That's
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Fourth,
we don't have either.
fourth Thursday. And then now they've taken over the Friday as Black Friday. So
Oh,
most,
Black Friday hasn't started yet.
yeah, Black Friday in the United States is the day after Thanksgiving, always.
Oh, okay.
So
All the
they make it a
sales have already
4 day weekend.
started.
Yeah, they make it a 4 day weekend. So I'm excited. My two kids and my wife, who's been traveling, they're all coming down to Phoenix, and then finally